Welcome to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio, where we challenge the fitness between your ears. I'm your host, Tiaja. You know, what we often think of as altruism is nothing more than narcissism. Now, narcissism is how the media and those in power appeal to you and me. They appeal to our ego, our vanity. Why do you suppose so many fitness books and programs are sold every year? Or do you think most people's New Year's resolution about losing weight is really about health? Sure, I'm certain health is a consideration, albeit small. I'm speaking from decades of experience with clients. What's truly interesting is to observe the seismic shift in people over the years. People used to take pride in earning things. Now it seems as if they're okay with someone simply giving them something as long as they end up with the desired result. Likewise, America in general, at least in theory, was always based on a meritocracy. You know, the American dream, achieving and becoming whatever your heart desires through max effort and hard work. But today it seems so different. To be perfectly honest, people are being conditioned to want and expect something for nothing. So everybody gets a trophy for participation, or are graded on a curve, or are socially promoted, or win an achievement award for just showing up. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm no fanboy of meritocracy either. After all, I wholly believe in the inherent equal value of every human being on the planet. However, being made to feel you're special is one thing. Being told your specialness somehow makes you privy to everything without sustained effort is quite another. For example, I've had clients who believe they should lose all their weight just because they showed up to the workouts. That is, until I reminded them that whatever they do in the gym or outdoors, and no matter for how long, is small in relative comparison to the number of hours in a day. In other words, unless you work out 24/7, there are other variables that control weight outcomes, like proper diet, hydration, sleep, rest, etc. You get my point. Okay, so how did we get here? Well, it saddens me to observe what has happened to people in general, especially since COVID-19. There are lessons we should have learned before COVID-19, but we didn't. So today I watch people literally wait for someone to pass them as they clutch their masks or frantically cross on the other side of the street to avoid them. I don't know about you, but this is a little bit disheartening to me, if not deeply disturbing, to see something like that. You know, in India, they used to have a caste system with a sub-society they called the untouchables. These were the poorest of poor, and you weren't to associate with them in any manner. Now, I said all of that to say this. In 5 short months, they've created within many a new prejudice and deep-seated fear or distrust of one's neighbor. And more insidious, a deeper divide in people. Even those panhandling must don a mask for fear of being passed over by would-be acts of philanthropy. How sad. We are better than this, or at least should have been by now. Frankly, we could have used our moments of self-imposed isolation to become better, but unfortunately many have only allowed it to make them more bitter. It's made some people feel as if they're better than others as well, for no other reason than that they wear a mask versus someone else who may not. If you check out the mainstream media as well as social media, the rationalization used for this is that wearing a mask saves lives. Well, let me throw out a disclaimer. I'm not opposed to anyone wearing a mask. In fact, I wear one, especially when shopping, etc. But I don't think of myself as heroic for doing so. Yet many believe just that. And yes, it's one thing to believe that. It's quite another to impose your beliefs on others, at least in the manner I witness on social media. Why would you think you can save lives by wearing a mask, unless, of course, it comes with superpowers and a cape? Why have we allowed something as small and as simple as this to become a lightning rod and drive a political wedge between us? Is it because we want something for nothing, that is, be thought of as a hero without ever doing anything really heroic, like receiving a trophy just for participating? As I stated many times before, the COVID-19 virus itself is proving not to be what is placing us in the gravest danger. The virus of narcissism and distrust and hate and apathy poses a far greater threat for which there is only one known vaccine, and that is love of self and neighbor. Dear friends, I wish above all things that you prosper just as your soul prospers. You've been listening to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio with your host, Tiaja. Until next week, as always, walk in health and peace.